Our next story is also about somebody doing something they really love, achieving a certain level of success, and then doing it on their own terms. Ruth Ezell's story is not about music, but it is about art. And it's about sharing that art with those who are willing to listen.
That's the tip of the stem.
Some people were just born to teach.
See that light under there? See how he touches here, and then he touches here.
Yvette Woods illustrates that by showing fledgling art students how to see.
See the difference? We don't just start drawing. We talk about what's there, and I draw with them. I sit there with them, and we do the gestures, and we go through the shapes, and we talk about what changes. What does it look like? Kids like that too, but I found out adults like it too. They want to say, that looks like a horse. We'll draw the horse.
This day, they were drawing peppers.
And we know what he makes. He makes a wonderful cyclical shape. See that? But look at this guy. He's way up here. Everybody's down here. They're not down there. And it's complicated, and they don't even know it. They're at an advanced level, fighting their way through, thinking it's just basic drawing. You see? But it's not. It's wherever I can see your brain is. And I push you a little further. Look underneath him. A little bit of light, and then his cast shadow. See how it works?
Wood's ability to draw out the best in her young pupils may have evolved from influences in her childhood.
My mom used to bring home clay and chalk and construction paper and you name it. And we would make things all the time. My brother did too. We thought it was just amazing. My sister, we all made things. The kids on the block made things.
And when Yvette was in the 8th grade, there was a Cleveland high school student who made an indelible impression.
He would sit with me on my front porch, I still have the drawings, and draw these beautiful women in these gowns, and I would draw with him, and he would draw, and I would draw, stroke for stroke. And I loved it, and I never forgot that.
A graduate of Sumner High School, Woods began her collegiate art studies at Forest Park Community College. She went on to study at the Kansas City Art Institute and earned a degree in sculpture in 1973. Woods' art, known as soft sculptures, caught the attention of the St. Louis Art Museum. In 1979, it staged an exhibit of her works, including this sofa, created entirely of recycled pantyhose.
I want to make it so that even if you don't have anything but the cost of a pencil, you can make something beautiful. Look at this, where he attaches himself to the paper.
Woods was still a student at the Kansas City Art Institute when she was offered a job on the faculty of Meramec Community College.
She helped the department grow greatly, I think, and brought a different viewpoint, one that we really didn't have.
David Durham was chairman of the art department.
You know, she allows the student to be creative, but she demands very hard, disciplined work in the process.
Here's an example of how Woods challenged her Meramec students. Sitting at their easels, she'd stack boxes in an irregular pattern overhead, then illuminate the arrangement with rays that pierce the open spaces. Drawing ordinary objects from a fresh perspective, students saw the light. One way to gauge the talents of a teacher is to talk to former students. A number of Yvette Woods' former students have gone on to do quite well for themselves.
And he started off as a little baby blackbird by Harry Martin in 1901.
That's St. Louis Post-Dispatch cartoonist Dan Martin. He's drawn the newspaper's Weatherbird for more than 2 decades. We caught up with him in May of 2008 at a gallery talk at the Sheldon Art Galleries. Martin studied with Yvette Woods from 1976 to 78.
In everyone's college career, I think there's a couple of teachers that really make an impact on you and you never forget. And Yvette was one of those for me. And I think what she did was, I had this really closed idea of art and would just sit in my room and draw little cartoons and illustrate things and really not look at a bigger picture of how creative you really have to be to make your living as an artist. And she just sort of opened that door for me.
The artist behind this work, Kevin Belford, shares those sentiments. An award-winning freelance illustrator who also studied under Woods, Belford says his former teacher doesn't distinguish between commercial and fine art.
In the commercial work, artists are told what to do. and they were very specific with the assignment. In the fine art sort of gallery world, you're a little freer. And that was sort of the neat training that I got from Yvette, is that it was apply that fine art thinking, wide open creativity to these projects and give them more than what they asked for.
Yvette Woods taught for 30 years at Meramec, retired in 2003, and concentrated on creating wearable art.
Look what I'm doing. I'm drawing around the edges of the one that I selected.
But the lure of teaching was too strong. In the fall of 2007, she opened Studio W in the Central West End, where she teaches drawing to children and adults.
She'll get to those kids sooner than she got to us college students, and I think those kids will be better served by it. I mean, I can see a whole batch of terrific artists and illustrators coming up through the ranks in about 20 years.
That's where I am now, just trying to give back. And I tell them, my last name is Woods, and you're not getting lost in the woods.